think about the spiciest dish you ever had. Maybe it was a tray of hot wings with a little too much sauce, or maybe a vindaloo curry that was richly flavored and a little bit painful. I've had many insanely spicy dishes, but one that sticks out was this amazing bowl of red chili with scrambled eggs and a ton of melty cheese I ate in Oaxaca, Mexico for breakfast. It was so good, I couldn't stop eating it, even though my mouth was on fire. There's a trio of chefs in Traverse City who have a real love for that sense memory of a spicy dish.
I think that experience is so nice. Like, you'll never forget that.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Right? So it's like, when people say like, oh, I can't handle it, and it's like, okay, well, what's your tolerance? And then you're like, it's not so much like I can't eat it, it's like it upsets my stomach, and like, I understand that. But for people that are just like, oh, I don't like spice, I'm kind of always, like, I don't roll my eyes, but I just want to say you have to put yourself in that situation for yourself to even begin to try to enjoy it.
That's Patrick Evans. He and his brother Michael, along with chef Ryan Corbin, run Crocodile Palace, a Sichuan restaurant in Traverse City. Most of their dishes incorporate that notorious spice profile of Sichuan peppercorns and chili oil. You may have heard of this as ma la.
Like I said, when I had it for the first time, I literally thought I was like allergic to something. I have no allergies.
Why? Like, what happened?
Well, your mouth goes numb.
This is The Dish, a podcast celebrating Michigan's incredible culinary talent. I'm your host, Mercedes Mejia. Today, we meet a trio of chefs pooling together their sharp culinary chops to craft Sichuan dishes that honor the flavor profiles of southwestern China. Patrick and Michael spent several years working in fine dining in San Francisco. And for some of that time, Patrick worked at Bar Agricole under Chef Brandon Ju. Chef Ju is a James Beard winner, and his fine dining Chinese restaurant, Mr. Chu's, earned a Michelin star. What did you learn from him that sticks with you?
From Brandon?
Yeah.
I mean, I could get emotional about that. It's I would say, like, top tier mentor list. I'd say, at Bar Agricole, we were getting some of the most gorgeous produce and proteins and just products I've ever seen in my entire life. And I think that beyond like beautiful techniques that I learned while working there, it's just that the quality of what you're using is always going to be the most important. And treating it like having respect for where things come from, and not doing a lot to like it up, Can I? Sorry, I don't.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. But we can beat it out.
Yeah.
The brothers eventually moved back to Michigan. They worked in Traverse City at the Cook's House, a chef-owned restaurant known for its focus on local, sustainable, farm-to-table cuisine. It's also where they met Ryan Corbin. Ryan says he was eager to learn from Patrick and his brother.
I had this infatuation with the stories that he had of the places that he had cooked. I hadn't had the ability to experience those things in a larger city where there's this just strong level of competition, between the restaurants and between the cooks working at them.
The three discovered their shared appreciation for Sichuan cuisine and started experimenting in parallel.
The dish, I think, was biang biang.
Yeah.
And I was working on trying to make that dish. And then it turned into making wontons and, different forms of dumplings.
So across the street from the Cook's House is a popular open-air bar and food truck park called The Little Fleet. Patrick, Michael, and Ryan did a pop-up there with some of their Sichuan dishes they worked on, and it went really well. So after the pandemic, and after toying with another fine casual dining concept that didn't quite land, they went all in on the Sichuan concept. Today, Crocodile Palace has their main brick and mortar near Northwestern Michigan College. It's on Cochlin, tucked next to a convenience store. They also have a small kitchen now at the Little Fleet. We stopped by the Little Fleet location to meet Michael, Patrick's brother. So you are Crocodile Palace at the Little Fleet.
Correct. This is our second season, summer season here at the Little Fleet, and yeah, it was kind of a divide and conquer situation between Patrick, Ryan, and I. So,
what's the meaning behind Crocodile Palace? Is it just a cool name that you came up with?
So Patrick and I lived in Frisco for a long time, and some of our favorite restaurants, he made a mention like Turtle Tower. It almost started off as kind of a joke, the whole thing, but then when we actually did it, the name was kind of a collaboration of like Koi Palace is a dim sum place we love out there, and Ryan was actually the one that was put it together, and he said it, and when we did the pop-up, we were like, we just need a name. This is the salt and pepper wings. So we blanch them, then they get crisped in a fryer. Green peppercorn oil, and then what we call the wok salt is a mixture of red and green Sichuan peppercorn and black and white peppercorns, and then salt, sugar, MSG. Super tasty.
Back at the Cochrane location, the menu primarily consists of standards, including mapo tofu, egg drop soup, pork wontons, crispy pork belly, and fried rice. Now, Patrick and Ryan were quick to say they wouldn't call any of these items their signature dish. None of these were invented by them. Instead, they've recreated these classic dishes from favorite cookbooks and other sources. But there is a clear bestseller, the Dan Dan noodles. Here's Patrick.
I mean, they're really simple. We buy a fresh alkaline noodle, so it's like a nice chewy ramen noodle. Normally when you would go to a noodle stall, you would have somebody taking all these separate ingredients, and they've done it so many times that they're just flipping it in there with a spoon, and then it's your job to like mix that whole thing up, right, and get that full experience. Some of them are seed-based, so ours has tahini in it, and it's just a different ratio of tahini, black soy sauce, the chili oil that we make in-house, some extra Sichuan peppercorn, and water just to thin it down. And we kind of pre-mix that just for speed purposes here, but the idea of it is that you're getting all the same ingredients that you would if somebody is just making that bowl.
And is there meat in the dish?
Yeah, so we offer it with tofu just because it allows our simple little menu to have more vegan options on it. But the way that we would tell you to do it is with pork, and we don't like stew it very long. It's just ginger, garlic, seasonings, Shaoxing wine, and soy.
That's a long list. I think some people are intimidated, like myself sometimes, to jump into Chinese cuisine. Because I see the list of everything you have to get, and I've had that wine before, and then, okay, I make it once and then I have it in the fridge for a while. Yeah. But you've learned how the ingredients work. And like you were saying, Ryan, you have the technique. So in a way, it's like the creativity. I can see how the creative mind can go from there.
It's cool that you brought up the wine too, because there's parallels between everything, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like when I taste black vinegar, the first thing that I'm going to compare it to is balsamic, right? And then like when I taste Shaoxing wine, the first thing that I'm going to compare that to is dry sherry. Okay. So, when we make the fried rice and Ryan hits it with like a little bit of sugar and then a little bit of that wine, it just bumps things up so much to the point where it's like, oh, okay. So it's like you have the technique and the knowledge of cooking, which is, it's all cooking regardless of where you are on the planet. Yeah. And just drawing those parallels, I mean, like, oh, I can add this for a boozy flavor. I can add this for a kick of richness or acidity. And it's I think it's less intimidating when you think about it like that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, you guys are pros, so I'll leave it to you guys. Can you talk a little bit about Sichuan peppercorns and the flavor and the heat that comes from that.
Yeah. Well, they're not spicy. As far as like the experience, like tasting it for the first time, like I said, when I had it for the first time, I literally thought I was like allergic to something. I have no allergies.
Why? Like, what happened?
Well, your mouth goes numb, right? So it's
Gotcha.
like it has this.
I've read that, but
Yeah,
I wasn't sure what that
I think
was like.
we have the forms that we use it in. We buy really nice red and really nice green Sichuan peppercorns. The red are going to be like more nummy and have a very like strong pungent aroma, and I would say that the green are more citrus in feeling, and then offer like a little bit less numbing.
The numbing effect of the peppercorns works with the spiciness of the chili oil to create that mala, or numbing spice, flavor profile. If you haven't experienced it before, like me, it might sound intimidating and maybe a little unnerving, but it's actually kind of genius. That numbing feeling is what allows you to handle the heat of the chili oil.
It literally made everything that we would eat and be like, damn, that's like, it's hot. Yeah. It brought it down to a level of like, oh, I can keep eating this and it's super enjoyable and addicting, So, yeah, whoever figured that one out.
Time to take a break. When we come back, I'll get a taste of that mala flavor myself.
Right here in your nostrils, yep.
Stick around. All right, we head to the kitchen where Patrick first gives me the tiniest drop of Sichuan peppercorn oil to taste. That's definitely like that citrus right from the start.
But then your mouth is going to start tingling.
There's almost like a floral, like herby. But shortly after that, the numbing sensation hits. It's like a tingling feeling both on my tongue and on my lips. I didn't realize that this is the sensation that I feel sometimes when I do eat Chinese food. This peppercorn oil goes into their house-made chili oil, and some of the peppercorn grounds will get sprinkled on top of the dan dan noodles, so this numbing spice gets incorporated all throughout the dish. The base of Crocodile Palace's dan dan noodles is, of course, the sauce.
So this is the sauce for the dan dan. Like I said, it's all emulsified now. We make 5 quarts of this at a time, and into 5 quarts there is 2,000 grams of our chili oil that goes into it. So it's spicy, but it's, it has those sugars and those fats and the vinegar and everything else to kind of cut through it. So, and then what we're going to do here, this is that oil made with the garlic and the gochugaru, and then the additive of the peppercorn oil. We had a lady come in and she was like, I really love those noodles, but they don't look like the ones I've had in back home. She was Sichuanese. And so we decided to kind of add this topper. So this started out as kind of like a visual thing, but then once we kind of discovered this and the addition of adding more peppercorn, it's like essential.
This being the
gochugaru, the chili oil that we add on top of this. So then we'll add more on top of this.
It gives it a little bit more of that shiny red.
It gives it a little bit more shiny red. It looks a lot nicer in the bowl,
And then the ramen noodles, which cook for just a couple of minutes, are coated in scallion oil. Then there's the stewed pork.
We cook it off in the wok with the ginger, garlic, little MSG, salt, sugar, and then it just kind of sits and like does a really light braise in the chicken stock that we make here. So nice, healthy portion of this.
And to top it all off, pickled daikon.
That's it.
Brilliant. Oh my. We can't wait to dig in.
Yeah.
This is just beautiful. Can we want to take a picture of it? The noodles definitely test the limits of my spice tolerance at first. But once the numbing kicks in, I do feel like I can kind of handle a little bit more, but then I can't. And it's kind of an addicting sensation. With knowing how much peppers are in here, how many peppers are in here, it's like a wonderful level of spice. And now I know that Sichuan peppercorn flavor. I just didn't know it before. Right here in your nostrils. Yep. This is delicious. Patrick, thank you so much. The noodles are savory and spicy and oily, and my mouth is numb. I can also see why they might not be for everyone. Have you had to bring down the spice level because of that, or are you guys doing you and
We're doing us.
Yeah. I would say like the only recipe that we kind of subtracted maybe was the base recipe that we used for the Dan Dan when we were like initially testing it. It had like 2 times the amount of chili oil in it than what we actually put. But you know, it's
to
fine.
say that we have plenty of options on the menu that aren't spicy.
Right.
But the things that are spicy, I feel like we've had this conversation multiple times.
Yeah.
It's like we'll offer it on the side, you know, but a lot of the stuff is pre-made, and so the sauce is already at that level.
Yeah.
But I think that there's been conversations between us that it's like, this is how it's done, and that's how it's going to be, you know? And if you want something that's not spicy, there are options for that. Yeah. But this is how it's made.
I think it's also important to, like, I've had this conversation with my parents before where it's like, well, maybe you should tone things down and it'll make, you know, it'll bring more people in or whatnot. And I feel like there's this weird balance, right? Because we are not unaware that we are 2 white people making Chinese food in northern Michigan, right? So, like, I don't want to be, like, so spicy that it just seems that we are, like, you know, we're tough and we know what we're doing. But then also I don't want to dumb it down, because then that's literally all we are, is 2 white guys in Traverse City, Michigan, making not even close to mediocre Sichuanese food. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like,
get it right.
Yeah, we want to do the best that we can, and even though, like, yeah, I haven't been to China. Hopefully someday I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But like, that all goes back to this experience of, like, it's all cooking, isn't it? Yeah. And part of being a good cook is tasting and eating and, like, consistently, you know, questioning and learning from tasting those things.
Crocodile Palace at the Little Fleet in Traverse City is open year-round. Their Cochrane location is open Wednesday through Sunday. Thank you so much to Michael and Patrick Evans and Ryan Corbin for letting us get to know them and their food. Today's episode was produced and mixed by Ronia Kabansag, edited by me, your host, Mercedes Mejia, and Laura Weber Davis. Music from Blue Dot Sessions and Audio Network. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time.